Hi guys, welcome to my channel Vinyl Beauty, or welcome back. I'm Debbie if you don't know me. So for today's video we're going to be doing a look with the LASplash Classic Horror palette. I'm always so excited to use this palette, and you guys know that every year at Halloween I always use this palette as part of spooky season, and I really thought I was going to run out of time this year, and I probably should be filming with all of the new things that everyone wants to see and that will get me views, but I just really want to play with this today, so that's what we're going to do. Because I think it's important to pick up the makeup that inspires you, that you want to play with. And I've just got a little idea of a look I wanted to do with this. So if you're not familiar with the palette, it's a rainbow palette of mattes actually, but it's got some really interesting tones. And we're going to be playing with the shade Nightmare today, which is really interesting brownish kind of burgundy shade. We're also going to be playing with the yellowy grungy tone Psycho. So these are going to be the two kind of focus for our look, and yeah, really excited to play with it. So without further ado, I'm going to bring you in closer and we're going to do cheeks and eyes together and create a look with this palette. Okay, so I've zoomed you in and we're going to do blush first. We're going to do the Pat McGrath Paradise Venus blush because I want something kind of terracotta-y toned, a little bit brown toned, and I think this one will be perfect. So if you're not familiar with the blush, that's what it looks like. And I want quite a bit of blush. When do I not want quite a bit of blush? But I want to take it sort of quite high and then into the eyeshadow look as well. So I'm going to bring it around my temples here and make sure that we've got quite a fair amount of this blush. Also got a highlight to play with in this video that I haven't played with in ages, so this is going to be completely a shop my stash, but as I say, I've got loads of new things that I could be playing with instead, and I probably should be, but there's no way I'm going to miss out on playing with my favourite Halloween palette on the lead up to Halloween, so that's what we're going to do today. Have you guys got this palette, the LASplash Classic Horror? I bought it 4 years ago, I think it was, and I bought all the lipsticks as well. There were some really cool lipsticks. I'm not sure whether I'll be confident using those, whether they'd still be okay. I still own them, I'll probably have to have a look. Right, really going in, as I say, heavy with that blush because I want to bring the eye look into the blush. So you've always got to trust the process with me, you know that I always kind of do some strange placements for things, but generally it works in the end. So we're going to go in with the Space Age Prophecy highlight from Kaleidos. It's been a long time since I played with this, and I just thought it might give us a bit of a cool shift for this look. This is a duochrome highlighter, and it was one of the first of its kind, I think. I think there's so many of these now, but definitely was the first of its type. I normally play with this around Christmas time because it's got such a magical iridescence to it of like pinks and greens and yellows, but I just thought over this blush, and then with the eye look that I'm planning to do, it could look really, really magical. Okay, we're going to do something else a little bit different as well. I've not primed my eyes yet because we're going to be using the Melt Gel liners to do it. I've got two in mind to use for this. So I've got Burnish, which is the brown one, and I've got Culura, which is like a grungy yellowy colour. So we're going to start with Burnish on the outer kind of edge of my eye, and I'm going to do it in sort of a graphic shape, and then I'm going to pack the shadow over the top. So to start us off, I'm just going to figure out where I want the placement of this to go. The normal brush I use is the Sigma one to do my wings, and that one's been washed today, so we're doing it with this brush, which is the Jaclyn Hill JH47, really, really tiny little flat brush. I'm going to take that kind of flat and across to meet up with my eye, keeping my eye open so that I get the shape that I want, because I want, as I say, kind of a graphic shape in this outer part here. And then I'm going to need to try and make that the same on the other eye. Wish me luck. This eye's aging faster, I think, than the other side. I don't mind getting older really, but I do wish I had just a super smooth skin just for a day so I could do some of the looks I really want to do that are so difficult to do when you've got older eyes. And I can mess with that and get it a little bit more precise as we go along. I think this side's a little bit higher than this side, but not too much I can do about that now. Might be able to bring this one slightly higher because I'm going to be filling it in anyway. Now I just want to fill in everywhere where I've made that shape. Just painting this on like it's a cream shadow. This particular shade of gel liner I've probably had for 3 years, and Melt's gel liners just never dry out. They're incredible. I bought the ones from Lethal and I loved them for about 3 months, and then they just went rock hard and they weren't usable anymore. But these are just, yeah, they're just amazing. It's really giving us that opacity and the shape that I'm wanting. We'll change the tone a bit because the shadow that I'm going to go in with is more of a reddish tone. I didn't have a reddish kind of shade of these, unfortunately. I can't wait to start using the ones that are in the Halloween Town collection. Got a few ideas of things I want to do with those because I've seen a couple of people use them as bases or as cream shadows, but not many people do. They're great in the waterline as well, and they're great as wing liner. Just going to use this brush just to gently kind of feather that in because we're going to be using the Cultura shade on the inner part, so I need to shear that out just a bit so that we can blend the two. But that's not looking too bad. I'm also going to take that onto my lower lash line as well, but not into my waterline. I'm going to put something else in my waterline, but I just want to use this as a base and connect up, and I'm keeping that super close to my lashes here. On the inner part we don't have to worry about getting this crisp like this, but I am still using quite a small brush, and I'm going to just do the same thing as I've done but with the Cultura liner, which I've never actually used and I think I've had probably 3 or 4 years. But yeah, it's still fine. Still really soft and emollient, it's fine. Just going to bring that higher than my natural crease. Feather that into the shade that we already have there. I'm not as worried about getting this as crisp here. Just where those two meet, just kind of giving them a bit of a smush together. Just going to do the same as we did with the Burnish shade, just paint that all over the lid to fill in the gaps that we've got going on here. Now where they meet in the middle doesn't matter because I'm going to incorporate a shimmer, although there isn't a shimmer in the palette. I'm going to reach for one because I did an all matte look yesterday pretty much, and I just want a bit of shimmer on the lid. And I want to use one from Clionadh that I've got in the Dragon Fruit palette, which I think will be perfect for this look. Okay, and again on the lower lash line, just in this inner part here. So I'm just basically doing the same on the upper as I have on the lower. You could pretty much leave it like this and it could be a look, I think, but we're now going to set that with some shades from the palette. So as I say, the two shades that I want to use are Nightmare and Psycho, so these two here. So we're going to start with Nightmare and pack that all over the Burnish side here. I'm just going to press that on. And I'm just staying within the lines of where we've put the gel liner because I want to keep this completely graphic today. The pigment in this palette isn't the most amazing, but by doing this you're still getting the finish of the colour, but you're just not having to worry about how not pigmented they are. Just going to feather that in slightly. I think I've gone in a bit further with the Burnish liner on one or the other, but that doesn't matter. As I say, we'll be covering some of this with a shimmer in any case. And then taking Psycho from the palette, just going to press that over that Cultura liner. And that is a bit lighter than the Cultura liner, but we're going to get a lot of opacity because we've done it the way that we've done it here. It's going on super easily and it's giving us quite a bit of a dimension to it now. These two are a match made in heaven to be together. They're such beautiful shades together. I've done a number of different looks with this palette. I've done a black and red smoky eye. I've done a cut crease look with a few of the colours. I've done something, I think, with the purples and blues at some point, but I don't think I've ever put these colours together. So, alright, in the upper part here, we do just want a little bit of a blend because we're not going to take the shimmer up that high, so we need to just make sure as much as we can that we've married the two together here. Just going back in with a little bit more of the Nightmare shade just to make sure that we've got a little bit of a blend going on between the two of those. Okay, so we've got the Dragon Fruit palette here from Clionadh. Mine's broken, so I'm being very careful that the lid doesn't fall off. But what I want to do is use this shade here at the bottom, which is called Effervescent. And where the two shadows meet, use that one to like put a bit of sparkle into the look, to give it something to adhere to. I'm just going in with the Pat McGrath Intensifies, and I'm just putting that just where I want that shimmer to go. So it's just on the lid and just between those two shades. I'm using this because it's a little bit easier to control than NYX glitter primer. It's not quite so messy. Making quite a bit of effervescent and unpacking that in this centre portion here, just to give us that sparkle that we're missing from the look. So just between those two shades where they meet. We could absolutely have used the face highlighter, but this is just a little bit of a thicker formula, a bit more intense. It's a really stunning shade. We've almost got a halo eye going on, but we've got two different colours like either side of it. Keeping that into sort of a rounded shape in the middle. Okay, so that's the look to this point. Just going to hop off camera for something in my waterline, mascara and a lip, and I'll be back to show you the finished look. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. Really love how it turned out, and I think it was such an easy one to create and a great way to use those melt gel liners. So even if you don't have those, you can do this with eyeshadow, but it just becomes a lot more opaque if you use a base underneath like that. But as I say, you can use just eyeshadows. You don't need to have this palette. I just love playing with this at this time of year. It's no longer available. It's been discontinued years ago. But if you've got these sort of shades or any shades, it's just more about the placement really. A lighter shade on the front part, a deeper shade in a sort of wing shape, and then something sparkly on the lid. It was really simple. To finish off the look, I've gone in with a Nabla Cupid's Arrow Stylo. This one's one of the pop ones in the shade Apricot that I've got in my new set that I've just bought. And then for lips today, I've gone in with Summon Spirits from Colourpop, from the Colourpop and Haunted Mansion collection, because I thought it was the perfect tone to match with that outer corner shade. Really is pretty much the same colour, and yeah, it's got kind of a mauvey tone to a chocolate brown, if you know what I mean. It's just stunning, I think, this lip. So yeah, that was the look, and it was so much fun playing with the classic horror, and I'll probably still play with it again next year. I'm going to keep playing with this until it no longer works for me, because it just brings me so much joy. I just love the packaging, just love everything about it. I don't know what it is about this palette that attracts me so much when I've got 400 palettes in my collection, but it does. So I hope you enjoyed seeing me play with the palette and you enjoyed watching the video. And if you're new to my channel, I hope you might consider subscribing before you go. We're going to be doing a spooky November on this channel, because I've got so many things coming in that are spooky. So the Friday the 13th from Glamlight, I intend to buy the Nightmare on Elm Street from Glamlight. I've got 2 of the Bella Beauty Bar palettes. I've got the Recently De-Influenced and the Strange and Unusual to play with. So I've got a few things that I still haven't filmed with, and I only film once or twice a week. So we're going to be going into quite a bit of November with spooky content, which I know from the comments that you guys are quite happy about, and so am I. So if you don't want to miss that, please hit the subscribe button. But hope you're doing well, guys. Hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.